ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all who are listening this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are deliberating upon the verses from chapter number 15, Panchadashodhyayah. Panchadashodhyayah. And this chapter is called as Purushottama Yoga. So, Purushottama. So, one who is the best, Uttamaha. Ut means higher and Tama means the highest. That is the meaning of the word Uttama. You see, many times what happens is we take words for granted, but Sanskrit language is like that. Where from all our words of our vernacular language they are coming. So, their words are not as such they are born out of roots, they are prefixes, suffixes, and then every word gets the proper meaning. So there might be one word, but it might have various sections, various components, padas. So and learning some word therefore again in a new light, so it is very intellectually refreshing. It gives us insight, and I am with Mimamsakas, Purva Mimamsakas on this point, because they are very peculiar, they are very particular for the words. So what words are saying? So that's why they use this word Shabda Brahma, referring to Vedas. So Shabda, the words, are Brahman itself. So truth is contained in the words themselves. So words are very important. So not to play with the word, not to use a word, callously. Pramadat. So Mimamsakas. So here word Uttamaha, the highest Purusha. Because tama, this word is used in superlative sense. Tara, when it is used, then it is in the comparative sense, better than something. But when tama, nyuna tama, that is the lowest. So this word is used, tama, this suffix when is used, it means in the superlative sense. So purushottama, purusha uttama. So here sandhi happens between akar of purusha, sha shabda, and ukar of uttama, and purushottama word is formed. So now I had explained this idea. Now that in general what we see, these two philosophies, we find that they occupy much more dominance. Which one? This Advaita Vedanta as well as this Dvaita Vedanta. Ya to bhakti, ya to gyan. So the one who are more inclined towards knowledge, they talk about simply Advaita Vedanta. Those who are much more inclined towards bhakti, devotion and love and form of God, they mostly talk about the Dvaita Vedanta. So many times in general people might not know or might not. So but Bhagavad Gita, the words of the Bhagwan, they themselves are not propounding only one kind of Vedanta, one kind of interpretation of the Vedanta, Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita or Advaita. And sometimes when there are such verses, they try to interpret or pull it in one way or other to their disposition. So, like Dvaitins, they are focused on the reality which is Saguna Sakar. So, Ishvara is Saguna Sakar, that's what they accept. So, with Akara, and that is form, and Saguna. Whereas Advaitins, they say the ultimate reality cannot be like that. It is Nirguna Nirakara, that without any qualities. So because as soon as you say quality, then it becomes material. So it cannot be quality. So, and complex argument for that. So if there are qualities, then there would be two things ultimately. There is quality and there is the substance. So no quality, Nirguna Nirakara. Whereas Vishishta Advaitin takes the somewhat middle ground, they say Saguna Nirakara, that it cannot be ever without qualities, though it might lack the form. So most of the Abrahamic religion, they talk about such God, which is Nirakara, but Saguna. He can be pleased and he could be angry. That kind of God who has qualities, anger or pleasure. And then, but you cannot see his face, God cannot be seen. This is the idea. So most of they accept this Saguna Nirakara Ishvara. Now this is equally profound and very prolific and powerful idea of Saguna Nirakara. And Dvaitins also, they draw a lot from it. So Ramanujacharya was the chief proponent of this Vishishta Dvaita Vada. As Shankaracharya was proponent for Advaita Vada, Vallabhacharya and many others for the Dvaita Vada, Vallabha, Nimbarka, etc. So now this chapter, this is rather, it is from its name itself, though 13th chapter talks about totally Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So it talks about a God like a Sankhyans. So Purusha, like a Purusha. 14th chapter deals with the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga and talks about reality, talks about a person who might have transcended the qualities. So 14th chapter deals with the qualities Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. This 15th chapter now from that Purusha of the 13th chapter, and in 12th chapter they dealt with the somewhat, his name is Bhakti Yoga, dealt a little bit with showing the importance of that difficulty in practicing Nirguna Nirakara, because there that question was asked. So by Arjuna. So Bhagavan said that definitely the person whose heart is still uh, attached to the desires of the world and of the body, so for him definitely this is klesho dhiktarastesham avyakta sakta chetsam. So worshipping avyakta or bringing your consciousness to that level to comprehend the unmanifested is going to be difficult. Avyakta hi gati dukkham deha vadbhihi avapyate. Whose mind is occupied in body, for such a person, avyakta, which is unseen, that is going to be difficult. So Bhagavan there, he preaches this idea of this divine bhakti yoga, but not necessarily Dvaitavada. Not Dvaita, bhakti definitely. So, but Vishishta Dvaitinas are also bhakta. They are also devotees. Though Advaitavadins may not call themselves so much as a bhakta. They might like to call themselves as Gyani. But even Shankaracharya's language or the way he uses, if you see the commentary, he definitely talks about, when this 15th chapter when he's discussing about Tad Lokam, he says Vaishnava Lokam. very easily he says. Anyhow, so Shankaracharya doesn't have problem with the bhakti. Shankaracharya, but is the he is very strongly propounding the uncompromising his stand, philosophical stand with respect to the ultimate nature of the reality. About that, he is not forgiving or forgoing anywhere, any ground. That is, he is very strongly adhering to. So this 12th chapter, so that's why we see this now. This in this 15th chapter, Bhagavan brings up this idea, and not only that, from here onwards until 18th chapter, he would be speaking this language. So that is something very profound. After 10th chapter, where he showed Vibhuti Yoga, 11th chapter Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga. Now this is continuously, this 11th chapter, this 12th chapter, he spoke about the bhakti, again Purusha, again Guna, again now in this 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga. 16th chapter. So here in Bhagwan now, Vedanta, as he had to tell what the truth he has to tell, in the especially concluded his his discourse in 7th and 9th chapter, that Jnana Vijnana Yoga, that is the 7th chapter, and Raja Vidya Rajaguhya Yoga, that is the 9th chapter. After when he comprehensively put that idea, but now what I said after 9th chapter, what we see is now 10th and 11th chapter somewhat meditative, but thereupon he goes for the practical solution. So what Arjuna is now, Arjuna is now more in focus. Earlier he spoke about the truth from the very idealistic point of view, but now his focus, now what Arjuna must do. Why that point is more important? Because now it is also for us how we must act. So theory तो हो गया 9 चैप्टर तक, अभी प्रैक्टिस कैसे करना है? अभी ज्ञान हो गया, इसलिए अभी भक्ति की बात चालू है. So what we must do, उस नॉलेज का करना क्या है? So how we must approach? So now his instructions, as we slowly move towards the 18th chapter, at that point of time, he is becoming very particular with the Arjuna. Like he says in the towards the end rather, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mashucha. So he is now becoming very particular with Arjuna, like directly speaking to him. So here, what we have to understand always when we read the life of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Swamiji, and when we see their teachings, we generally try to make this discrimination, or rather keep this discretion. If the instructions, if the words, if the teachings are particular or general, because if they are particular, they might be suited to particular person in a particular context. They cannot be extrapolated universally. Which you might have said something, suppose you might have said, or some particular person have said something in a reference to a particular point, you cannot take those words and apply that you have said this is your stand. This is how media or social media or this world nowadays seems to operate. But here, as I have said to you earlier, that Vaktum Icha is very important. So who is the Vakta? His Icha. So that is very important. What does the Vakta, the speaker, want to convey? We cannot violate his intention. So we will have to estimate from his word, having the macroscopic view. In general, seeing the nature and character of the individual, that how that individual might have said something with what kind of intention, and that's how we decide. That's how then Shankaracharya writes commentary. No, here that is not the meaning of the word. How does he know? How does Shankaracharya know? What does Bhagavan Sri Krishna intended? Knowing that person thoroughly, knowing all of his teachings, all of his life, his words, his behavior, telling these things, we know what this person is like and how he is likely to say, react to, or act in a particular context. So therefore from words it is most imperative that we must get hold of the person. Then we will not do any mistake. Now here, now this in a Purushottama Yoga, that what happened here, Bhagwan begins with, I said that how does his inspiration comes from this word Brahmano hi pratisthaham amrutasya avyasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. So it is his that is the last verse of the 14th chapter. So because in the 26th verse, in the last but one verse, he said, Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena. He uses this word, one who worships me with a bhakti yoga which is avyabhichari, that is wholehearted mind, not giving to any other thing. One who worships me is dedicated to me devotionally, and who practices such kind of devotion, undistracted devotion, that person he will attain what? Gunan samatiti etan. So etan gunan samatiti, that person will attain this transcendence of the gunas. He will become gunatita, and that is the person, that person enters into Brahman. He will have the highest experience. So here he very clearly says that which might be some state of mind which is coveted by the yogis and jnanis, equally he says it is going to be obtained through devotion. Now we do not have to now condemn Sri Krishna, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, or we have to say that he is very partisan, that he is propounding or he is pushing bhakti. No, I said because now Sri Krishna is more focused on Arjuna. That's how from we see slowly his mood is totally changing. He is trying, he has said the theory, but now his mind is eager to take Arjuna to the conclusion, to a solution, so that his resolution is formed. And Arjuna, we find in the end, in the 18th chapter, he says, he utters those words, though it doesn't prove on the battleground. So Sri Ramakrishna makes fun of it. So he says, this Arjuna, that he heard all 18 chapter of Bhagavad Gita, but when this Abhimanyu died, he wept like a woman. he says like that. Yes, that is true, and I feel that's why Gita makes a lot more sense to us, because Arjuna is like us. Though he is extremely talented, extremely powerful, extraordinarily gifted and divine human being, but that divine human being has taken a form who is ready to behave just like us. He shows those, this folly, those imperfections, those those shortcomings, like a everyday human being. That's why the Gita is the greatest scripture for the mankind. So if Arjuna would be too perfect, then Gita would not be any meaningful to us, any much meaningful to us. If Janaka is teaching to something to Shukadeva, I doubt whether how much it is meaningful to us. Means I say, oh, it can make sense as far as meaning, but correlatability or practical use of it. Shuka is born perfect person. Janaka is Brahmarshi. One Brahmagani is talking to another Brahmagani. How much it has the practical relevance to us? Are we Brahmagani? We are not. We are everyday people with lot of faults, lot of cravings, lot of desires. So we are not free of these things. So I want a practical solution. I have understood the theory and everything, all right. I have understood what Brahmagana is saying. I have understood this all great sages are saying, all right. You tell me something which is, हम नहीं, जब ज्यादा किटकिट हो जाती है, so many, there are 5, 6, 10, 15 proposals, हमारा दिमाग इतना पक जाता है, बोलते आप बताइए मुझे क्या करना है. We talk like that. तुम बताओ भाई कौन सा ठीक, मुझे कौन सा प्रोडक्ट लेना है. बोले इसमें ये है, उसमें वो नहीं, उसमें ये है, इसमें ये नहीं. इतना सबको दिमाग का मतलब दही हो गया है. तो हम बोलते हैं बस रहने दो अभी, आप मुझे बताओ. बोले ये ले लो आप. अच्छा ठीक है. So we pay money, we take that thing back to home. So it is almost like that. So we see that change in the attitude of Krishna. Now we have to always remember that Arjuna is front now. Arjuna is front. That it was not the case. Means when we see that this progress. So he is speaking highest of the ideal, highest of the truth. Yes, definitely is telling to Arjuna, and Arjuna is intervening, he is asking questions various ways. 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, then again in 6th chapter, we see Arjuna is intervening. Okay, 4th and 5th chapter, Bhagavan speaks all of his own. So, but 3rd chapter he intervenes, 6th chapter he intervenes. At the end of 7th chapter he says something, that's why 8th chapter comes. And again Bhagavan is coming back to 9th chapter with the same idea with he was going on the 7th chapter, Raja Jnana Vijnana Yoga. But after that, as if Sri Krishna himself is fulfilled, whatever he had to say, he had said that. Highest of the ideas, he said that. In the 7th, 9th chapter, he says those things. And he makes such a profound and tall claims that knowing which, he says that there would be nothing. Yajñatva we find in the beginning of the 9th chapter also he will say, the 7th chapter, he says, Yajñatva neha bhuyonyat jnatavyam avashishyate. He says, knowing which there will not be left anything to be known. Can you imagine? Such kind of claim. So Bhagavan is saying to Arjuna that if you know this, there will not be left anything to be known. जानने लायक ही कुछ नहीं बचेगा. This is what he is saying. Can you imagine that? And he is particularly, he is saying that you listen to this very carefully. So much eager Bhagavan is to tell him, listen this thing. I know, I tell you, listen this thing. So, the 7th chapter, in the beginning of the 9th chapter also we will find such verses. See here. And definitely when he is saying, here he says, Yajñatva mokshase ashubhat. I am going to tell you the truth, etc., etc. And greatest of the verses follows his claim. So they are the crux of the Brahma Jnana. Now, after saying those things, this chapter proceeds and we see this progress, and now we see that change in the attitude when he says, Bhagavan says, he proves his point from this 10th and 11th chapter, this is what I am, etc., etc. And we see slowly how it gravitates very naturally towards bhakti. Also there is a transformation in the nature of Arjuna. There is a transformation in the nature of Arjuna. Arjuna sees that. He says, he pleads to him, show me your the rupa of with 2 hands, that I am so terrified, etc., etc. And this now, this transformation is coming. This though this 13th chapter, so Bhagavan is now seeing that transformation, now convincingly is saying to him that you worship me. Practice that devotion, through bhakti, you will attain. And now this 15th chapter, what we see, he started this chapter that such a word he used, Brahmano hi pratisthaham amrutasya vyasya, that I am the seat, I am the proof, I am the gateway, I am the seat of that Brahmana, which is immortality, which is immutable, infinity and eternity. These 3 characteristics he used: immortality, infinity and eternity. I am the seat of that, I am that. And not only that, of all dharma is rooted in me. I am dharmasya pratishtha. From me that all dharma is ensured. What a great statement For not only for Arjuna, for everyone of all being, every particle of this creation. Everything which exists, it follows its dharma, which is drawn on this truth. This is who I am. I am the creator. I am that Purushottama. I am that Purusha, the great Purusha. Not which is in the heart, as we see Mr. speak in the language of the Sankhyanas. Sankhyanas say all Purushas are separate. That Purusha which resides in me, that is separate. From the Purusha which resides in you, that is separate. But Vedanta does not hold that idea. So Swamiji says that Purusha, that Ishvara, is sum total of all jivas. That is the great Purushottama. So Vishishta Dvaitins hold this view that our Jivatma is the Ansha of Paramatma. So Paramatma is that great Purusha. We are all the spark. He is that roaring fire. We are the Spullinga. Just the spark. You might have seen when that bonfire, if it is lit, some sparks comes out of it. Flints, very small flints comes out of it, glowing. But they are immediately extinguished. That much is their life. But they, in their quality, they are same as the fire. There is no difference. There is just difference in the magnitude. There is just difference in the magnitude. A drop of ocean is as same as the ocean itself in its quality, not in its magnitude. Not in its magnitude. What ocean can do, drop cannot do. So drop in that sense cannot be equated with the ocean. But in its true nature, it is as same as the ocean itself. So from there the drop comes. And to return to it is the ultimate destiny of that drop. Howsoever way, whether it is soaked, whether it is soaked in the soil, whether it is soaked and therefore in a food consumed by man or any other species, and ultimately it has to be returned to the nature, and by the power of the sun it will turn into Bashpa, and again it will return to the ocean. So that's how they say. So all motions in this life, they are circular. There is no straight line motion. There is no motion in a straight line. From wheresoever anything has ensued, started, begun, it must return to it. That is the law of the nature. That is the law of the nature. So meaning that if we have come out of that Ishvara, we must return to it. That is the one and only destiny. Rest everything is just by the way, and it is meaningless. It is meaningless. It is transient. It is temporary. This is the only one thing that is true, and it will find its way, one way or other, now or later, and that's all. So Bhagavan says, I am that, and now he is now in his full mood. He is saying that, see, this samsara, this whole world, it is like inverted people tree, that Ashwatha Vruksha, which has one root above and whole spread of foliage down below, along with its branches and all. And so this tree, it has this other, it is spreading. Guna pravruddha vishaya pravalaha adhaschordhvam prasutastasya shaka. Up and down its branches are spread. Even it has developed like ancillary roots up and down. Adhascha mula anusantatani mulani. So again it is developing as a fruit. So it will going to hold on. You might have seen some kind of trees. There are some kind of banyan tree. They are occupying space of acres. Can you imagine one tree? So its branches are again coming down to this one, to the ground, and again they are developing roots. So adhascha mulani anusantatani, it is again below, it is developing roots. So this ashwatha vruksha, this vishaya pravalaha, that is the new shoots, they are fortified guna pravruddha with this gunas, this vishaya namak, vishaya pravala, these new shoots are the vishayas. They are propelled by, they are prompted, they are fed by these gunas, guna pravruddha. Gunas are feeding the vishayas, and new shoots it is forming. So sansar is all the time, it is like expanding. And this is how, and he says, he makes this statement, karma anubandhini manushya loke. Shankaracharya's commentary is also very interesting, very nice. Miss, it is really, miss, if we take it, you definitely you'll, but Sanskrit words and Sanskrit grammar forms a lot of part of it. So instead of going into it, we just keep it. But there are sometimes a very nice context. Now, here last time I was speaking about these verses. Na rupam asyeha tathopalabhyate. I skipped, or it omitted my attention this one simple word, tatha. Tatha means that way. Here, what does Maharaj take the meaning? As such. So here, so it omitted my attention. Now see what, but it has reference to this previous verses. Na rupam asya iha. Iha means in this world. Asya means asya, this ashwatha vrukshasya. So this, of this ashwatha vruksha, of this people tree, you do not see its rupa like that. Like that means the way he described it, you cannot see it. And he says, because of its enormity. Because its enormity. How he says, you cannot see its end, from where it has begun, or where does it end? Where does it end? You do not see that. Where does na adi? Where does it begin? You do not see that. And not only that, na sam pratishta, how it is established, where it is established. Because unless you see tree a form of far of distance, you will not be able to see such a big tree. If you are just, because you are part of that sansara, how can you see the tree? You cannot see the tree. That is the meaning. So because it is so big, that is na anta, na adi, na cha sam pratishta, you will not see. This ashwatha, but why he is talking about this tree? What does, here is the reference. He says, ashwatham enam subirudha moolam, that this ashwatha tree, which has become so strong due to this rudha, that is well proliferated roots, very strong roots, subirudha moolam, that it is very strong. He says, asanga shastrena drudhena chitva, that you have to have that resolution and do with the sword of detachment. Asanga, non-attachment. Sanga is attachment. Asanga, this non-attachment is the sword. Drudhena, meaning that you are not going to cut it in one shot. That you will have to go after it, because it is so huge tree. Its root, this tree has to be cut off. This sansara vruksha, this has to be cut off. I said its meaning is the sansara of yours. It doesn't mean your family or this other people that you are go on killing him. That is not the meaning. He's talking about the ignorance. He's talking about this, its roots, its desires. And when you have cut with that non-attachment, he says, tataha, then What is to be done if you have given up that desire for the samsara? Very nicely he says that what does it mean? Meaning that you give up these three vasanas, the strong vasanas, they are called as aishanas. So lokaishana, putraishana, vittaishana. These are the strongest desire. That the desire for the progeny and family, desire for the loka sangraha, that is what is that name and fame in people, that your next generation should remember you, that your pitaras, they should bless you, lokaishana. This world should, they should know you, you are a very great man. This lokaishana. And vittaishana, to ensure the happiness and prosperity of both of them, you need lot of money. So by whatever means you try to grab it or gather it. So I should have nice family, nice son, and this other people, I should have lot of name and fame, though by whatever means I gather money. This is impossible kind of desire people have. He should, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that you should get rid of these things. You should get rid of these things. And then parimargitavyam. So I had because I do not have this Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit here, because it has only English. So I have it in Kindle. So I follow that. So this word, this tatah padam. Now this word is very, I find it very important, because tatah means therefrom. Therefrom. This word clearly shows, like you should give up the samsara and then you must follow this path. Meaning that this samsara, how you will give up, that becomes sannyasi? No. Important is cutting the samsara vruksha, that is cutting of these desires. Cutting of these desires. He says, asanga putra vitta lokaishanadibhyo vyutthanam. Vyutthanam is, against ut means higher. So ut, the sthanam, so you go up, vyutthanam. Tena asanga shastrena drudhena. So here very nice word Shankaracharya uses. Drudhena means, he says, paramatma bhi or paramatma abhimukhya nishchaya drudhikrutena. This is Shankaracharya's addition. Shankaracharya's addition. What does he say? Drudhena means that where you are drudha. So very nicely points out that you are resolute. Resolute to what? Resolute not to just cut that samsara tree. It is not negatively. Shankaracharya gives completely positive turn to it. What is that drudha nishchaya? What is that resolution? He says, paramatma abhimukhya nishchaya drudhikrutena. That person, that individual is completely oriented, or he had made that drudha nishchaya, that resolution, that firm resolution, that iron resolution, that all his efforts are oriented towards the realization of God. Paramatma abhimukhya. Abhimukhya means oriented towards. Mukha, abhimukha, in that direction. So he is not, out of its negativity, there is any hate for this samsara. There is no negativity. This is the reason. This is the reason. That only the realization of God. Paramatma abhimukhya nishchaya drudhikrutena. And how he, again another, it is Shankaracharya's add, how he should do that? Puna पुनः पुनर्विवेकाभ्यास अश्म निशितेन. This is Shankaracharya's addition. He says that by sharpening this asanga shastra, that is your sword, that asanga shastra, that should be sharpened again and again on this viveka stone. On the stone you have to sharpen your blade. Ashma nishitena, that sharpening, nishitena, that sharpening. Ashma, that is the stone upon which you sharpen the blade. What is that stone here? That is viveka. So Shankaracharya, he adds, his he feels like to put there these two ideas. So it gives a totally a different meaning, that with the viveka and with this laksha, that mumukshatva, that moksha ichha, that paramatma prapti, that is there. This is viveka is there, and that's how this vairagya is explained. And then only these three things make sense. Vairagya, here viveka, and mumuksha. Otherwise, it is not simply any negativity or hatred. That this Gita is saying that Bhagavan has said that you people are worthless. So many people, if they do little bit of sacrifice, little bit of austerity, they go on telling people, these people are immoral. They go on telling lies. They take bribe. Or you take if you want. Why are you so why are you so aggrieved? Why are you ranting so much? If you want to live pure life, everybody is immoral. You live nice life. Why are you ranting? If they have little goodness, they are condemning everyone. Have you seen these people, this kind of people? If you do little good, okay. So some people are, suppose, women, all kinds of people they can do. So they will do something, but they are go on ranting about everyone. घर का सब काम मुझे करना पड़ता है, मुझे नौकरानी समझ के रखा है. कोई किसी को तो कदर ही नहीं मेरी. तो इनको तो बस महाराजा हुए है ये. एक नहीं, दो, तीन नहीं, चार चालू है उसका मुंह का पट्टा. उसके बिना उसको चैन ही नहीं आता. है कि नहीं? ये हमने जनरली देखा है. हाँ, सच्चाई अलग बात है. तो पर यहाँ पे ये बात समझने लायक है, या फिर यहाँ पे ध्यान देने लायक है खास करके. So even Sri Ramakrishna, he said, very wonderful. In the very beginning of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, this conversation comes. He asked Master Mahashay that what is Vairagya? What is Vairagya? And he literally translated that विषय प्रति विराग, विषयों के प्रति विराग, राग नहीं होना. राग मतलब अट्रैक्शन. रमते गमते च. ठीक है कि नहीं? The one person whose mind get absorbed into such kind of indulgence and is moved by it, that is raga, attraction of generally any kind of sense indulgence. किसी को गाना सुनने का शौक है ना? किसी को मतलब कुछ सौंदर्य निहारने का शौक है. किसी को मतलब कुछ अच्छी सुगंध चाहिए. किसी को अच्छा स्पर्श चाहिए. तो ये सुख नहीं तो इस इंद्रिय से सुख नहीं, उस इंद्रिय से, तो उसमें बड़ा मन उसका रम जाता है. और उसके लिए ही इज मूड टू डू समथिंग. हाँ भाई, अच्छा गाना सुनने के लिए हम पैसा खर्च करके जाएंगे. ऐसा अच्छा नृत्य देखने के लिए जाएंगे. अच्छा खाने के लिए मिलेगा तो जाएंगे. हाँ, उसके साथ साथ बड़ा मतलब अच्छा है, फ्रेग्रेंस है, परफ्यूम है ना, बैठने के लिए बढ़िया मतलब व्यवस्था है, तो हम उसका आनंद लेंगे उसके लिए हम ज्यादा पैसे देंगे वगैरह वगैरह. ही इज मूव्ड बाय इट. राग, दैट इज राग. विराग कि ये राग का अभाव होना, राग से विपरीत उसके प्रति केवल राग तो नहीं होना, वितृष्णा हो जाना, उसको विराग कहा जाएगा. विराग कहाँ पे हो रहा है? विषयों के प्रति हो रहा है. सो dispassion, raga, that is attraction, this is abhorrence or dislike or dispassion towards the sense indulgences. So Sri Ramakrishna says, Sri Ramakrishna comments thereupon when he had asked Master Mahasaya that what is vairagya? He says dispassion towards the sense objects, sense indulgence. So Sri Ramakrishna says, so not only dispassion towards the sense objects, but the passion towards the divine, passion towards the God. ईश्वरे प्रति अनुराग, अनुराग आवश्यक है. नहीं तो it is not just a negative quality, it is not just a hatred of something. So Shankaracharya adds this point here. And he says, so this Viveka and Paramatma Abhimukya Nishchayena Drudhikritena. He brings it both these 2 points. That Vairagya, this Vairagya has to be accompanied by this positivity and this discrimination. Viveka, Punar Viveka, Vivekabhyasa, Vivekabhyasashma Nishitena, Vivekabhyasa Shmi Nishitena, Ashma Nishitena, Vivekabhyasa Ashma Nishitena. So, this is what he says, Chitva Sansara Vruksham Sabijam. So, सबीज, बीजों के साथ इसका कोई मतलब बीज नहीं रहना चाहिए, ये भी एक शंकराचार्य उसमें डाल देते हैं. पर अभी हमको समझने लायक एक बात है, ठीक है कि नहीं, कि एकदम सबीज अगर वृक्ष इसको हमने ये संसार हमने उन्मूलन कर दिया, if we really uproot, become successful in totally destroying this samsara, meaning the attachment to the samsara. Now, if it really, so if it we can really do that, then there would immediately it will result into Brahmadhyana, because that is the one thing which is composed of our ignorance, which is clouding our judgment. Immediately it will happen. So it doesn't happen. So meaning that, because why it doesn't happen? Because after that Bhagavan is saying himself, Tatah Padam Tat Parimargitavyam. So very nicely he is Margitavyam, that Padam, he says Padam, he translates as Vaishnava Padam. Vaishnava Padam. So Tata means Paschat, after that. Tata Padam Tat Parimargitavyam. Parimarganam Anveshanam Gyatavyam. So how to go? Parimarganam, how to reach there? That to know that Anveshanam, knowing that, or to investigate, to find out, and Gyatavyam, knowing that. So this is what the meaning of Tat Parimargitavyam means, that you have to, it is, one is supposed, or one should engage himself in knowing that path. Knowing that path. Path to Tat Parimargitavyam, to that Pada, Vaishnava Padam, Tat Padam, Tat Parimargitavyam. And now comes the qualification. What is that Vaishnava Padam which I am talking about? So Bhagavan says, Yasmin Gatana Nivartanti Bhuya. So Yasmin Gatana Nivartanti Bhuya, that is something, this is the highest one. So again and again, this is the phrase Upanishad uses. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna using, copying that phrase, just to point out or to make it simple, to mean the same thing which Upanishads are saying. So it becomes easier as soon as he uses that phrase, Yasmin Gatana Nivartante Bhuya, etc. etc. So it means that, like in Kathopanishad, so that is the thing he is meaning. So, though the language is used as if it is a physical location you have to go, but by saying this word, it becomes apparently clear that it is the state of that highest realization. That is the state of Brahmadhyana. And why that nobody returns from that? That because once that ignorance is destroyed, that knowledge is attained, again there would not be ever this trap of ignorance falling upon that individual. He will never be befooled ever again. He will know that forever that he is not body, he is not mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, indriya, prana. He is none of these things. And he will realize that he is the Atman. That realization won't be once occurred, it would be absolute. That is the meaning of na nivartanti bhuya, that after reaching where you do not return back. No returning back means you die. That is not the meaning. You need not die. That ignorance will not come again. You will not be anymore the same person. That is the person. So once you enter into it, a fool might enter into the samadhi, but once he return back, fool cannot come back. Only the wise one will come back. And again he says, Tameva chadyam purusham prapadde. That I seek refuge in that primordial Purusha, primeval Purusha, whence, from where stream forth or ensued or proceeded forth the eternal activity, prasuta purani pravrittihi. So this activity being this creation, from which that creation has ensued, that is referring to the Ishvara, that Purushottama, that great Purusha, that Paramatma, of which we are all the particles. Once we return there, I seek refuge in that tamevacha adyam purusham, the primordial Purusha. I seek refuge. Prapadde, I become prostrate. I prostrate before him. I offer my sastanga pranam to him. Prapadde, and from where this Purani, this is the ancient, this activity has proceeded, meaning referring to the samsara. This samsara has ensued, because the samsara, this creation, can only exist as long as Ishvara is there. When Ishvara is there, he dreams, and the play of samsara begins. When he opens his eyes, his dreams is over. This all where this dream goes, his dream goes collapse into him. There is nothing creation, no more creation. So Sri Ramakrishna points out, Swamiji also, that this is not your dream. This is not your dream. It is the dream of the Ishvara. In that dream, he has become you. You are not dreaming. It is not your dream. It is the dream of the Ishvara. There is a difference. So anyway, and after which this how does that is to happen? This now set of beautiful horses, but time is up. So next Sunday class होगा? तिथि पूजा है? ओहो, अरे बाप रे. ठीक है, ओके. 5 को होगा फिर. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम तत्सत. श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु.